And hi guys, welcome to fourth episode of Football Unplanned podcast, and today's topic will be Group D.
In Group D, we have France versus Denmark versus Tunisia and versus Australia.
And let us start the episode with the group favorites, France. They are current world champions. They won 2018 tournament in Russia, beating Croatia in the finals. And they are also current Nations League champions. But they are coming off pretty disappointing Euros where they lost to Switzerland on penalties. And Jan Sommer was just better, I guess, on that day.
Better than Kylian Mbappé, who's one of their biggest stars from the previous World Cup and I think also in this World Cup.
Exactly, he is one of the best young players, and he and Haaland are probably gonna end up as being the new generation's Ronaldo and Messi.
Okay, but who else except Kylian Mbappé to watch for?
Well, definitely that would be Ballon d'Or winner Karim Benzema. He came off a great season for Real Madrid and he's continuing strong this year until his injury woes lately. But injury didn't stop him for receiving a call-up, but the injury is not that severe, so he doesn't receive a call-up for the World Cup, unlike the injuries that Paul Pogba suffered, N'Golo Kante suffered, Mike Maignan suffered, and even Lucas Digne. And latest injury problem that France is having is after today's training where Camavinga injured their striker Nkunku, who immediately got replaced in the team by Randal Kolo Muani, Eintracht Frankfurt striker. So maybe that's a surprise because still Jonathan Klaus didn't get invited into World Cup squad. And well, probably because this is a real life and not FIFA, Ben Yedder still didn't get a call-up. So because of all these injuries, actually it would be in best French interest that their young stars show up to this tournament. And I'm talking about Real Madrid duo in Tchouaméni and Camavinga. And Patrick, what would your expectations out of French team be for this World Cup?
Well, let's not forget about the Champions Curse, which is happening since 2010 World Cup in South Africa. And it means that the world champions are going home after the group stage. And that even happened to Germany 4 years ago. But to be honest, I don't believe in this curse staying with us longer. And I really hope that France will go at least to quarterfinals this year.
Yes, to be honest, I would agree with you, especially because France has already been hit by that curse once after winning 1998 World Cup. They had a really rough time at 2002 World Cup where they lost to Senegal, and that's something that nobody expected.
That's right. So I think we cannot have a better champion to break this curse. Next station is Denmark. Denmark were shockingly very good and they almost went to the final of last Euro 2020. But this year their expectations and their ambitions are even higher.
And yeah, Denmark actually was ahead of France in Nations League this year. But I think the things would be different in this championship. They had a great Euros. They started really shocking with this Eriksen situation happening in the first half of the match against Finland. Hopefully that ended well, and thankfully Eriksen will be playing in this World Cup also. So we will see what the time will bring for them. But my general predictions would be that they will come second. They have a compact squad, they have a lot of decent players, and I would say the biggest star is Eriksen, who recovered in such way that he got a contract with Manchester United even this summer. But I don't see them having enough firepower to be better than France in the big stage.
Yeah, I think same as you, that Denmark will be on the second place. And keeping that in mind, most probably in the next round they will play versus Argentina. So I guess round of 16 is gonna be their last station in this World Cup.
But yeah, thinking that outside France, their other opponents are Australia and Tunisia, I would say that at least second place is a guarantee for them.
Our next team in this group is Tunisia, and for them, this year's World Cup is the sixth time that they are playing in this championship. They started in 1978, but through all of them, they ended their adventure in World Cups on the group stage. Also, very important to mention that their federation isn't mostly looking in their own country for the best players to play in the national team, but mostly in France.
And yeah, actually, their best player and star of the national team, Wahbi Hazri, is one of those players. So he came out for the French team system, had a little spell in the Premier League with Sunderland, which wasn't that great. But he turned out to be a decent striker in Ligue 1, scoring over 10 goals on several occasions.
He also played 70 times for the national team and scored 24 goals. I'm afraid to ask, but I will ask, is there any young star to watch for in Tunisia?
Well, actually, they have a young project from Manchester United, Hannibal Meshbury, and I'm sorry for butchering his last name probably. But yeah, actually, he switched nationalities last year and started playing for Tunisia's senior team before he was part of the French youth system and played around 15 games for their youth teams. He's currently trying to break through the Manchester United first team squad by impressing on a loan in Birmingham City in the Championship. He is receiving constant minutes there, and he is pretty young, still only 19 years old. And I think if we need to watch one of the younger players in the Tunisian team, he's our only chance.
And our last team is Australia. This World Cup will also be their sixth time in this championship. Only one time they made out of the group stage in 2006 World Cup in Germany when they lost against Italy, the future world champion. Just to mention, they are still the record holders of the biggest win against American Samoa Islands for the World Cup in 2002 qualifications when they won 32-0. But let's move to the recent times.
Well, in recent times, I would say that they are struggling a bit because their golden generation is now completely retired, and the changes in their own football system kind of made harder for young players to break through because they limited the A-League to only 12 teams. And football schools are now turned into private academies, so most of them are not the best ground for picking up the best talents, but it's more that people who have money and access are going to them, and that doesn't necessarily lead to the best talent.
And just to finish a bit, their last one match was in 2010 World Cup in South Africa when they won versus Serbia 2-0.
And the biggest star for Australia in this World Championship would be Aaron Moy. So he has some Premier League experience that he switched for trying his money in 2020, but now he's back in Europe playing for Celtic, and actually he was playing Champions League football this season for them. But yeah, so in general, Patrick, considering all we talked about, what are your predictions for Group D?
I think besides what happened in UEFA Nations League, France will take the first place, Denmark will go from the second place, and I would say Australia will be on the third place.
For me, I would definitely agree with France and Denmark advancing to the second round. But something tells me that Tunisia will manage to make it to the third place in this tournament because they simply have at least few younger players that are I think, maybe capable of performing well on the big stage.
So, guys, that was our 4th episode of World Cup edition of our podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening and staying with us. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you and hear you in the next episode.
See you guys, and also please let us know in the comments what are your predictions for the Group D and how far do you think these teams can go in this tournament.